Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Crystal and this video is part of the Unique Antique Challenge. This challenge is hosted by myself and co-hosted by Creep Designs by Twitch. The theme for this challenge is bright and bold. So basically, we are just going to take a antique or vintage piece of furniture and recreate it using that theme, bright and bold. This is the piece that I will be working on. It has some damage. It's all handmade. Um, I started out by gluing the wood that was broken off back on, and then I used some Bondo. And with my Bondo, I'm just kind of um, building up and just kind of reforming the missing parts that are on this drawer. There was quite a large chunk missing, so I'm just taking the Bondo and when the Bondo starts to dry a little bit, it gets to be kind of moldable. So I'm able to kind of form it and make it into a rectangular shape where the missing wood would be. Once I kind of get it all formed and it dries, I'm sanding it down and I'm flattening everything out. And then I have to do it all again just to kind of build up my layers and build up my form. It's definitely not a perfect fix, but it definitely did make a difference because there was a ton of that drawer was just completely gone and broken off. And then I did take my Bondo and put it on some other chunks that were missing. I'm using a color called Green Apple, and this is Miss Lillian's No Wax Chalk Paint. If you have never used this paint before, I love this paint. It has amazing coverage, as you can see. So before I'm using my chalk paint, I made sure I scuff sanded everything and then I cleaned it really well with a vinegar and water mixture. Something I did do that I did not um, video record was I completely sanded the whole entire top of the dresser down to bare wood, and I want to leave that all natural. I'm using this transfer called Royal Burgundy by Redesign with Prima, and I like this transfer because all the flower layouts are already made, so all the arrangements are already made, and I don't have to try and figure that all out. And it's a really big transfer, so it's almost going to fit perfectly on this piece. Peel the two layers off like this, and I've already kind of figured out where I want to put everything. So spend some time doing that before you put your transfer on. And, I mean, mine's pretty simple. It's just going on like so. And do that. I've only really done transfers a handful of times. They're kind of expensive. So for me, I don't really like buying them too often because of that reason, really. Just gonna use some tape. To kind of hold it in place. And it comes with these little burnishing sticks. Where it gets tricky with the transfers around the curved areas. So I'm going to start at this corner here, kind of work my way over. Okay. So just take your burnishing stick and you rub it on like so. And per the instructions, you want to wait approximately at least a day. You want to wait and up to a week before you do apply your transfer onto the paint, so that way it gives some time for the paint to cure. I'm going to kind of speed through this whole process. I really wish in real life I could work this fast. Um, I spent hours rubbing this transfer on. And as you can see, once the transfer is on, it will kind of start to loosen from that film. And around these curves, you can see where things went horribly wrong. My transfer, it was just cracking and it was breaking and it was a huge mess. It was a huge disaster. I was really upset. I almost cried. This thing was so huge and it was so hard to put on. I really, really struggled. And at one point, I decided I needed to try and figure something else out. So I started cutting my transfer into pieces, thinking maybe it would make things a little bit easier. And although it sort of did, it didn't really help. You can see I even broke my burnishing stick. That's how much I was rubbing this transfer on. I'm almost wondering, I did get this on sale. Like it was super cheap. It was only $25. So I was kind of starting to think in my head, maybe it was just old and not fresh. And that's why it was so much harder to apply. I had to rub and rub. Okay, this is a hot mess. You can see all my cracks. It's like really bad. So I'm gonna go in with just like some acrylic craft paints and just kind of touch it all up. It doesn't really have to be perfect. Just don't want it to look like it's so bad. So I'm just using some various greens. I'm trying to match everything up as best as I can. And it's obviously not going to be perfect. So I'm just bringing some of that green into other parts of the leaves and other parts of like the stems and stuff, even if it's not cracked or broken. I just want to make sure it all looks cohesive and it's not like, okay, well, this is super bright green here and it's not super bright green there, and it all kind of makes sense. And it looks like the transfer was meant to be that color anyways. And I did the same thing with the pink flowers where everything was broken and cracked as well. I just went in with some acrylic craft paints and kind of matched everything up as best as I could. I even, touched up other areas that weren't broken or cracked just so it made sense and everything blended and it was all cohesive. Altogether, this was pretty much a nightmare for me. It was a headache. I struggled big time. Has anyone else ever struggled with transfers? Have you ever had a hard time and having things just not work? I mean, I've watched so many videos on these transfers and they make everything look so easy, but it was really hard for me. I've done this a handful of times. And it's super easy when it's on a flat surface. Don't get me wrong, but when you hit these curves, it's like, oh my gosh. Final step was I used a sealer called Big Top by DIY Paint. I just brushed everything on with a Blue Hawk paintbrush. Same thing with my top. I didn't use any stain or anything. I just brushed on the sealer. Everything worked out in the end, and I'm so glad for that. If there's one thing I've learned through the years is how to fix my mistakes. Thank you so much to Twitch for co-hosting this challenge with me. Please make sure you check out her channel and wish her a happy birthday. Today is her birthday, April 23rd. Thank you so much to all the participants who are joining this challenge. And you guys, let me know, what do you think? Did I succeed? Is it bright? Is it bold? I always enjoy reading your guys' comments. Well, the nice ones, anyways. Thanks again, you guys. Playlist is linked below as well as Twitch's channel. Have an amazing day, and please remember to like and subscribe. Bye.